Hi, Martin Radnan here. We're currently working through the Level 2 Basic Word module from the ECDL Extra course, and we're now up to Lesson 11, Gala Dinner. By the end of the lesson, we will have created a correctly laid out document with the text correctly formatted. We will also have inserted correctly placed dashed lines into the document. So let's head to the associated website, select Word, and then Word Lesson 11 Gala Dinner. So let's open the instruction sheet, and let's also download the text for editing. If you do have any problems downloading the text for editing, here it is on the screen right now. So if you can't download it, then perhaps just type it out. Okay, let's have both of these windows side by side so we can see the instruction sheet and also the text for editing. And then let's get moving. Save your Word document as menu. So File, Save As, and I want to call it Menu. The file type wants to be Word document .docx, and then save in an appropriate location. Now, step 2. Center align the entire document. So let's go to the document. To select all the text, press Ctrl A, and then from the Home tab, center align. Next, select the first line, which is the Gourmet in Ipswich, and make the selection, and again from the Home tab, bold, size 36, and we want Edwardian script. Now let's deal with the third line. So select the words A Gala Dinner, and we want this to be bold, size 28, and Tahoma. Okay, now we're up to step 5. Make the heading starters bold, size 14, and Tahoma. So let's select the word starters, and we want bold, size 14, and Tahoma. Now that we've set the formatting for the first heading as size 14, bold and Tahoma, now we want to use the Format Painter to copy the formatting of the word starters to the headings Main Courses and Desserts. So select the first heading Starters, then press from the Home tab the Format Painter button, and then let's find the heading Main Courses. At one end, press the left mouse button, then select the word, and when you've selected it, then lift your finger off the left mouse button. The formatting of the word starters has now been applied to the formatting for the word Main Courses. Let's now do the same to apply the same formatting to the third heading, which is Desserts. So we already have Main Courses selected. Press for the Format Painter, and then Desserts has now been formatted. Okay, the next instruction is instruction 7. We now want to insert a short dashed line after each course. To do this, what we're going to do is to insert a shape. We'll select a standard line, we'll put it in place, and then select the line and change the formatting of that shape. So from the Insert tab, select Shapes, and then select a straight line. Now it can be quite difficult to make sure that the line is completely horizontal. So when we place it, make sure that you keep the Shift button pressed while positioning the shape. Okay, I'm now going to press my Shift button, now my left mouse button, and I'm now going to lift my finger off both the left mouse button and the Shift button. Now that we have the line in place, select the line, then press the right mouse button, and from the contextual menu, select Format Shape, or in my case, Format Auto Shape Stroke Picture. This will allow us to change the thickness of the line, the colour of the line, and also its style, such as dashed. So let's change the line to dashed. Let's change its weight to be thicker, so perhaps 3 point. I don't want any arrows. For the layout, I want it to be horizontally centered, and then press OK. Now that we have our line precisely how we want it, we now want to copy this line below the other two courses. The easiest way to do this is to copy the original line, paste, and then reposition it. So let's do that underneath the main courses section and also under the desserts section. So select the original line, copy, right-click, paste, right-click, paste again. And now let's move the lines in place. Okay, just to make sure that these shapes are actually centered correctly, let's select the second line, right-click, Format Auto Shape, and make sure it's centered. Let's do the same with the third line, right-click, Format Auto Shape, Horizontal Alignment, Center, and then press OK. Now these three lines should now be identical to each other and also be centered correctly as well. Okay, so we've finished step 7, let's move on to step 8. Step 8 is asking us to insert an extra main course. So at the bottom of the main course section, press enter, and then let's put in the extra course, which is lamb shank in a port wine sauce. Okay, step 9. Let's change the top and bottom margins to 1.5 centimeters. Well, to do this, we need to go for the Layout tab, and on the left we'll see the Margins button. Select the Margins button. The options that you'll find are normal, narrow, moderate, wide, mirrored, or a default. Now, none of these are giving us a top margin and a bottom margin of 1.5 centimeters. So let's head for Custom Margins, and we want to change the top margin to 1.5 centimeters and the bottom margin also to 1.5 centimeters. Then press OK. You're likely to get a message saying some margins are outside the printable area of the page. I'm going to press Ignore, and if I zoom out, I can see that everything's clearly on the page anyway. Okay, let's move on to step 10, and we're going to deal here with tab stops. So select at the bottom of the document. To begin with, let's left align, because at the moment we're centered just like the rest of the page. So let's go Home, Left Align. We've selected at the bottom of the document, and here we want to set tab stops at 2 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and 8 centimeters. So don't forget, you've got to have your ruler showing. If it's not showing, then select View and tick the ruler button, or check the ruler button if you prefer. Okay, back to the Home tab. To set the tab stops, just underneath the ruler with your mouse, left click at 2 centimeters, 5 centimeters and 8 centimeters. And as shown in a previous lesson, the tab stops will be indicated by a very small capital L underneath the relevant part of the ruler. Okay, we now want to enter some text, so let's get the text in first and then we'll deal with the tabs. So the words are telephone with a colon, then reservations with a colon, and then a phone number. Then press enter, and on the next line we want the word enquiries, followed by a colon, then a space, and then a phone number. Now let's use the tab button to align the various sections vertically. So just before the T of telephone, press tab. Just before the word reservations, press tab. And at the start of the phone number, press tab. On the next line, just before enquiries, press tab twice, and then just before the phone number, press tab again. And now what we'll find is the word telephone starts at 2 centimeters, reservations and inquiries both start at 5 centimeters, and the phone numbers start at 8 centimeters. So therefore we've got this laid out so the words are in a column format. Okay, let's head to the top of the page. And now in step 11 we're being asked to insert a small decorative clipart image to the left of lines 2 and 3 of the document. So click on the page and then let's find a small decorative clipart image. Various ways of doing this. What I'm going to do is insert pictures, online pictures, and I'm going to look for restaurant clipart. Find one you like the look of and then press insert. Now first of all let's resize it and position it. So select the image. I'm going to make it a little smaller, and I'm then going to position it so it is to the left of lines 2 and 3. Now we do want this clipart image to appear on both sides of the page, so we're going to copy and paste the image, and when we've pasted it, put it in a similar position on the right of the document. So let's select the image, right click, copy, right click, paste, and then let's move it along to the other side of the page. Now we're up to step 13. We want to change the word invites in the second line to welcomes. I know we could very easily just write over it, but let's use the replace function. So if we select the Home tab and then in the editing section replace, what are we trying to find? The word invites. And what do we want to replace it with? Welcomes. Okay, then replace all. Okay, there was just one replacement made, and we can see it was made over here. It did say invites, now it says welcomes. Close your Find and Replace dialog box. And then let's move on to step 14. Now it always makes sense to spell check a document, so let's do that. Now depending on the version of Word that you're using, there are different ways to perform the spell check. On the version that I'm using, I go for the editor function as shown. Okay, it's checked the spelling, and indeed it's checked the grammar as well, and found no issues. So let's close the dialog box. Now let's check the layout's okay So to do that, let's look at a print preview. So File, Print, and as I look at the preview, I'm looking to see would I be happy for this to go out. And as I look at it, I'm thinking maybe there's a little bit too much space between the price and the word starters. So let's go back and make that change. I think that looks a little better. Let's try again. File, Print, and now I feel happier with what this looks like. Once you're also happy, it'll be time to insert your name in the header. So go for the Insert tab, Header. I'm only putting one piece of information in, so I'm going to go for a blank header, and in there I'm going to type in my name. Don't forget to close the header and footer, and finally save the menu, and then print one copy to the XPS document writer. So just to remind you, in case you missed any lessons, to get to the XPS document writer, you do File, Print, and then change the printer to an XPS document writer. I normally use the Microsoft XPS document writer, or alternatively the Microsoft Print to PDF, whichever you have available. And what these will do when you select them is, rather than printing it to a printer, it'll print it to a file so that it can be printed as a hard copy later. Okay, we've had a look at a variety of features. I hope you find them of use. And next time we'll focus on formatting tables. Okay, I look forward to seeing you then.